So the secret of the magic box. Oh,
What are you going to tell them the secret?
Short. I can't. Never mind. Never mind. So we're moving on to Mirage. That is going to be the next map, G2 versus Astralis. Astralis just having won Inferno. There was a resurgence. There was a comeback from G2 despite Launders' premature predictions. They did win, however, Astralis. They did, yeah. So
it seemed like it the whole time.
Very good, very good. But G2 did try to fight back, and maybe they can take that momentum into Mirage. We saw some nasty plays from Kenny S, and I would love to see those. It's always, I think you see the most explosive plays of an AWP at short to medium range. Obviously, you've got the longer ranges on Mirage, or more opportunity for longer range on Mirage. I think for me, Mirage is something where I actually wanted to look at some demos of players like Device on the CT side of, well, actually both sides, because I think Mirage, like A, is a very difficult site to defend. I think it's deceivingly difficult, and with an AWP, I think it's really curious, especially when you get smoked off in the window so much, how snipers are able to be effective. Ali was good at being effective on CT Mirage, but now we've got Kenny and Device. I'm very curious to see what they will be doing.
Yeah, Ali was like the premier stairs / connector opper on Mirage, very good at that position. And Device, that by far his best thing is knowing how to open up every round, knowing like where he should go instead of window if he thinks that window is going to be smoked, or if it's going to be like a fast mid play to go connector or palace or B or push off cat or jump cat. And I don't know how much of that is preparation. Maybe it's the boy Zonic coming through with the hot tips on every team, or if it's just kind of his ability to understand what the habits of the other team are, just go off intuition. It was something that Oscar actually did really well too. When Mouse played against SK, every execute, he was like right in their face with the op. So I'm not sure if it's experience or preparation.
Yeah, I think Oscar is. I feel like I should watch his demos as well on Mirage, but I think that's kind of like trying to replicate what Simple does. It's kind of toward in that direction. So I feel like
it's like being a boxer and watching a Mike Tyson demo.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think a more stable basis to look at somebody like Device, and then kind of branch out from there. I think Yugi would be a good one to look at as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what are your thoughts, Dan?
I think that Astralis will have not an easy time, but I for some reason feel like this will be somewhat convincing. Because Inferno, although it ended up being fairly close, to me that was fairly convincing the entire game. Like Astralis always in the driving seat of that match, and I feel like we're going to see something similar here, but except it's going to be scrappier. I feel like that's what we'll see, because that's what G2 are good at. So what I'm really looking forward to seeing is actually what we're going to see on the T side. Because there's so many good examples of how to play Mirage really, really well. Like obviously Mouse Sports are chief amongst those, and it all centers around the mid play. And I'm curious how that looks for G2 right now, because that's against Astralis and what will be a very strong CT side. That you have to be able to have a good mid, like mid take. Like you have to be able to do that. This is a must.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. Again, a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, two things about the drops in the game. FACEIT account, go to your integrations and your settings and connect it to YouTube, and then gaming.youtube.com/FACEIT. You must be watching there. That is where drops happen. So if you're on a normal YouTube site, you won't be eligible for the drops. It has to be on the gaming.youtube.com site. If you're wondering why, it's because it's more customizable than the general YouTube pages. So it's in the gaming. Got to be in the gaming for the games. In the gaming. See what I did there. Where is the game? That is a question.
Yeah, where is the game?
We are waiting on the final player to join. So
you could go to Wembley.
You could also go then. Do it.
Yeah, you could go to Wembley for the Counter-Strike specifically. Wembley.csgoleague.com. Buy some tickets. James said they're going to sell out. Who knows how? I mean, I haven't verified this information.
Yeah,
so
James said they're almost sold out, and that he wasn't supposed to say it.
Maybe that's a trick. He's like, it's just a marketing trick.
I was talking about Sunday at the major.
Oh,
is mostly sold, almost sold out. Man. I think I might have to message my beautician for some advice, because
you have a beautician.
Of course I have a beautician. Of course, Mohan. Yes, I have a beautician. I need to message her and ask her, like,
what's her name?
Whatever. Her name is Vicky.
What do I do with this?
Her name is Vicky. She's wonderful, and but she's in London, so I don't get facials when I'm out here. I just hold on
Oh, you get facials in
for
London.
dear life. I get a facial once a month from my beautician Vicky, and yeah, I've like my forehead is red. It's basically red.
Yeah, it looks like a different person on your forehead.
Yeah, I was wearing my glasses, so I've got like glasses tan slightly.
You're very shiny, actually. Now
I know, it's because I'm covered in lotion. I'm covered in lotion because I'm trying to save my skin from peeling.
I wouldn't have noticed if
But,
you didn't say anything. But now, I
Yeah,
see it.
no, I am very shiny because I'm trying to keep it somewhat moist. I don't want it to dry out and then I just have a peeling forehead. That would not be good. So, yeah, my tan would go. I've got a
Were
slight
you
tan.
flying too close to the sun?
Look at this. Look at this. Well, I'll be flying on Friday. Those are stock like pictures from the internet of the plane, but I booked a flight for Friday, and it's weird because I looked at the stats for these sport cruiser planes, right? And they have an empty weight, I think, of something like 1,800 pounds, but they have a maximum weight of something like 2,200 pounds, and I'm 220 pounds. So it's like, is this
So-
plane gonna crash?
One more of you, Max.
I'm hoping it won't crash, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'll make it out of there.
I mean,
In
are you
one
just going to, like,
piece.
sit next to the guy?
What if my
Instructor
instructor's
first.
obese?
Yeah,
Then
just,
what?
you have to match yourself with a small pilot. Like a
But-
jockey.
I'm hoping that I've got something wrong there, but I don't think I have. So I have to say I am somewhat concerned. But if I would be surprised if they were heavier than me. So hopefully we won't crash and die.
10 Kevlars. No one has bought anything apart from a Kevlar in this round. That is cool. You don't often see that. Oh, okay. That is precise, surgical from Dupree to start start the things off.
It's always good when you start the things off there.
Yeah, the things have been started off.
And we'll see how the things can continue. I don't know if G2 tried to show the bomb on A. I mean, maybe it was dependent on openings, but the bomb is now rotating all the way towards the B bomb site, but the numbers are being thinned. And now do you continue in that fashion, or what do you do? Try and cut off the rotation, perhaps? Apex with the bomb. Apex dropped the bomb. NBK alone versus 4, and this is not bode well, Dupree. Oh, that's nasty, man. He delayed as well, waiting for his teammates. Effects on the off angle. And there's more support there from the... Oh! How is NBK doing this? It's actually got a 1 versus 2 now. He's only seen one of these two players, but they are positioning for a double peek. Tipex will swing wide, wants to fight, starts engaging. Surely it's impossible. Indeed, it ultimately will be.
That's one of those spots where you start to panic because everyone's like, "Oh, we had the 4v." It's actually one of those interesting spots because if you're in if you just end up in a 2v1, okay, fine. But if you're in a 4v1 and now it's a 2v1, that's different in a lot of people's minds. Like, there's more pressure there. So I've always find it funny, like, if teams handle that properly. Anyway, moving onwards, the force buy from G2 as the response to losing that round with no bomb plant.
I like how the last two CTs played it, though. One player is on the low slope on mid, not showing. So by the time the T goes wide enough to engage the other player, then it's a guaranteed either a 2 versus 1, or if he shoots the other guy, then you can respond as quickly as possible. So you put yourself in the best situation. And it's kind of like if somebody comes out long doors and does 2, and they first engage a guy on ramp, and then somebody pops out from the corner position. I mean, there are ways around it, but it's the same vein. I'm sure we will see that with the re-emergence of Dust 2 as well.
Ooh, not a good start to the fight for Glaive, and he doesn't recover too well. Does get damaged, but his teammates have to make do. And Magisk, if he stays alive with the Famash, things should be fine. But the grenades start to fall, and Dupree, Magisk doing damage. And this is looking mighty clean now all of a sudden. And in fact, Kenny Yas with a dive through the smoke will be discarded. He'll be deflected. He will be cast aside. And the eco is here for G2 now. Full eco. An opportunity for Astralis to make some money. Make some honeys. So this is the worst case for G2. This means Astralis are going to have the AWP out onto device whenever he wants it. And that's really awesome, because once there is a difference to not having an AWP, let's say in your first or second buy round, and then finally having an AWP in your third buy round as a CT. Because if you can have the AWP in the first as quickly as you can already start to condition your opponents. You can already start to show yourself in certain positions. You can already start to lay down some expectation, and you can already start to sort of impact how they'll move on the map. And so it makes it easier in following rounds with that context.
This is kind of interesting because they didn't get any They didn't have any deaths last round. They have no reason to op. And we don't know if they would have. It seemed like they have like Magisk with 6900. He might have bought one. But it's actually fast mid-control 4 people.
Yeah, they're going to take the risks with this. Why the hell not? But look at the response from G2, immediately charging into the B-bomb site, which is literally empty. There's nobody there.
Wow, they know.
They've broken the glass doors down, and they're stealing all the vinyl. Mixwell trying to hold on to the market position as the repeat comes in. Peeks before the flashbang goes off, and you won't be exposed to it. Very nice play by him. So Astralis will have to head to the bank, get the withdrawal, and get the big guns out for the next round. And as you can see from their money, it's not really going to be the most spectacular Zipex device. Glaive don't have all the money in the world, but if they can hold on to these guns, then that will make quite a significant difference.
I like how Astralis is sending one player to hunt, because when you're against a team like G2, you really do want to invest and try to keep their money down. This is very fine, though. Who's going to be able to find this first? Glaive might actually have done it. No. So he will go down. But yeah, I think it is worth it, especially with players of this caliber. If Glaive gets into a position where maybe Kenny S was caught off guard for a millisecond, Glaive could turn it into 2 or 3 kills. It's like very, very possible. So I respect that. And double orbs, in fact, straight away. That is, I was not expecting that, in fact.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario because I think, I mean, again, there's rarely one right or wrong decision, but it does have impacts elsewhere. But maybe that impact is answered with a second sniper rifle. So Monsieur Dupree with the second one. Device in the short position. Dupree over towards B, so maybe he'll be left on his own once they have the positions they want. Mixwell, though, is expectant of something. The elbow is spotted, and Mixwell is swatted.
I actually really like the double orbs here from the perspective that you can have Device creating presence on mid, but Dupree is sort of like, it's really cool if you can assert yourself very early on as the B player and say, yeah, if you're going to play a default and try to challenge me, try to, you know, fight me off a position, I have an AWP. So he hits the shot, and life becomes very complicated. Now they have to always fear that Dupree may be holding an AWP in this position, so it becomes harder to run your defaults. And we're going to see them funneled elsewhere on the map, and this is sort of what's happening right now. They can't go into B, and everything falls apart.
A very hard, tough round to lose because they obviously had such a clean round. Last round, the setup looked really good. They called out that they saw, you know, 2 to 3 people at mid, and were so certain that no one was in B, and it seemed honestly like they were really well prepared as well. And here on this round, completely fall apart. This is the map that Dupree had, I think, at Epicenter that everybody remembered. That was like the map he opted on with Dennis, and was fantastic.
Nice. 4-1 in favor of Astralis, surviving in the numbers. Really important as their money is in a critical situation. That peak reminded me of something. You can shoot someone in the elbow and kill them, but some of the CT models have backpacks on them, which are not a part of the hitbox. I had a weird situation on Dust 2, of course, where somebody was trying to hold an off angle with their backpack out, and I shot them with an AWP, and it didn't register, and then I died.
Probably killed their backpack, though.
4-1. Yeah, if they had any sandwiches in there, you're not eating them sandwiches. See if Glaive can defend. I think he was trying to jump to spot some players, but the action will be all French. G2 having taken the site. Is there a pop flash for NBK to make his way into CT? He's engaging 2 players there. So perhaps not lots of red now for the French side, and they start to dwindle in numbers.
Yeah, even though it's a 5v3, it is very hard to hold on to this bomb site, and if we see there's still a bunch of utility here for the CTs. That said, Kenny S will decapitate Zipex. One more player to potentially lose his head. It will be Dupree. Magister with the double coming in to save the day here, and it's going to be at the 4K if he's able to do it. Tapping the bomb for pressure. Oh. The shot missed by Mixwell. That he knows he can just hold it. Mixwell has to go for the desperation play, and just barely in time. Stops the defuse and will win the round for G2.
I can be your hero, baby. Ooh. I can take away the pain.
That was so close.
0.6 on the clock.
My
Maybe
goodness.
slightly more. Well, we see the buy from G2 now, not the best buy in the world. See what MBK can do with the MP7 or what Astralis will allow him to do, forcing him away from middle position, but G2 will choose to stand and fight. Body taken down early. There are 2 more players here, and there is a player moving up the underpass position. I did expect MBK to be there with the MP7, try and get close range. Peppered with the CZ, and he'll be forced away. Not a good start for G2. A pop flash for Kenny to get into position. You can actually, well, maybe there's time to talk about it later. You see CT sliding into the underpass, not spotted by Mixwell.
Ooh, did he get a dink? Damn. Astralis doing what they have to here with the limitations that they have to get the damage in early, but G2 somehow finding a way forwards. But again, they are critically weak here. Device lurking with the USP, finds one of the weakened players. In fact, it's, well, yeah, he will take him down with the USP. Magisk will aid the situation out of the market, but now down to Dupree in the 1v2. He spotted one, I think, throw on the bench. I think he saw the barrel. Got that information. Oh, I don't believe it. Apex somehow pulls that frag out the back. And G2 will win the round somehow.
Somehow, indeed.
Money gone.
That was it. Like, he knew where both of them were. Bomb planner was heard. The scope at bench was not, you know. And Kenny's not going to assume that he saw him after he killed the plant as well, so probably wouldn't have moved.
Apex is in the Matrix.
Yeah.
He has dodged a lot of bullets. Figuratively, actually, just literally. On pistols now are Astralis. G2 with the opening kill. We'll see what the CTs choose to do in the meantime. Not sure if there is a gap there for Apex to be spotted on a short position. So maybe G2 can stabilize now. Only one round between these two teams. Mixwell not shy to make some footsteps. Again, Astralis don't have too much to offer. Molly to force these players away. That is an off angle, those boxes. You do have to make sure you check that as you move into the connector position. Now Dupree's the last man. Ooh! Sometimes E works. Oh no!
You guys got so excited.
Double. Get the damage.
That's a lot. That was very close. You think he could have got 3 there if he held it?
This is an awkward game, and that's sort of what you expect. Some scrappy rounds from these two teams. And now the advantage actually really falls onto G2 in this buy versus buy. Astralis, will they go aggressive on mid again? They did so previously with success. And this is a round where the B pressure is going to be more impactful. Don't have to worry about the AWP. And Dupree's going to create presence towards Catwalk. Can Apex survive? His teammates are coming from underpass. At least one. Sound being made here. They would likely suspect someone on the chair position. Zipex doesn't get the damage he needs here. That's an open path to the B-bomb side as they start to spill out the apartments. And Dupree, very nice burst to start things off.
Apex catching off the flank, or perhaps not. Ripped to pieces by Glaive. 4 versus 3. The bomb's not even down yet. The bomb's on the floor now. Last 2 players out of the apartments. How much time does Dupree have to buy? A few seconds here and there, and the bomb might just get planted. There is another CT on short, but he can't stop the plant. Kenny is jumping around, some space created with a smoke grenade. That is another disgusting flick from Kenny. Why does he keep doing this to people? Mixwell alone now. 2 players remain, both coming in from the short position. Again, creating some more space for himself. Not getting lost in the smoke. Trying to get the 1 versus 1s. Keeps repositioning, but he's still got a lot of time to waste there. No kits on these CTs, 5 HP. Glaive coming around the corner, jumping around. He knows he's low, avoiding the headshot. And he's got time for the 10-second diffuser. 3K for Glaive in that round.
Well, that was a pretty exciting round, wasn't it? That was kind of crazy. That was a nice round from Glaive. That frag that he got on Apex, he was not favored for at all. Apex was just waiting for this 1 kill come off Cat, and he couldn't do it. That was pretty insane. Second time that G2 have taken advantage of going B, almost all out. And for some reason, it seems like that the strat's not going exactly according to plan, but as soon as a kill happens, they're making really good on-the-fly adjustments to group up and execute or just start running.
Yeah, they seem to be really good on that and making the right call. People in the right positions. Very passive round now from G2, and maybe that they expect aggression, or at least want to be safe from that. And they've got players towards the A side of the map at the moment, bringing a fourth there. Perhaps a delayed set piece onto the A site with the limited utility they have to use at their disposal to try to lock down this A site, isolate any players hiding within it. But Astralis are in a pretty darn good retake position. B is pretty safe. There's 2 players there. They have the info on mid. They have a player stairs, a player CT as well. So Astralis are in a perfect position to just allow the grenades to come in and then play the 5-man retake. The 4-man retake.
Let's see if these 4 men will remain. At this point, his toll brief is getting riddled with bullets. No tickets for sale today. Now it's a 3-man retake. And now it's a 2-man escape, perhaps, as surely it is time to bail. That is quite the push from G2. And away they go, Astralis. The score soon to be tied up once again.
These fast days are really hitting G2, or hitting Astralis where it hurts right now. It's almost like Hot Flash explodes. They have the smokes as well, but I think it's what mid control. It's mid control is what Astralis are most prepared for at the moment.
Yeah, that push came in. Perhaps it did seem to catch them very, very off guard. So we'll see if they can adjust. They will save again. Really important kill from Apex. And that's the timing from Mixwell. Very quick. You see Magic had no idea he'd be so close. And G2 starting to really carve themselves onto the map here. Forcing themselves onto Astralis' bomb sites with ease in recent rounds. And now it's up to Astralis to make do with very little, but they're quite good at that. That said, Apex will make life simpler for G2, just entry fragging into A. 2 quick kills, he's done enough, surely.
Looks good so far. That's an important kill. Bringing it to a 4 versus 2. Percentages will change wildly. Ooh. We learned a lot about percentages at some point, where like if you see like a 45, 55% type thing, that's a lot larger than it reads on paper. But that's all I can tell you. So basically, use this information. Just get Petar to just explain something like that.
Isn't that like, you know, a pocket pair versus AK or something like that? Isn't that like 45, 55?
Well, might be slightly more than that.
People say it's a flip, but it's not. It's a straight flip. I forget. It's been a long time.
Thanks, Dan.
I only know Joris memes.
What was that?
Joris?
Yeah.
Joris what?
From Game of Thrones. What's the Joris meme?
Percentage.
It's a Joris meme.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Phantom Lord era.
Okay, I don't understand either.
What's that got to do with Joris, though?
Joris was the guy he asked for roles on Skype.
Oh, I thought you meant Joris from Game of Thrones.
I know you did, because you just said that.
Okay, moving away from all the confusion.
I don't know what to do with you, Londers. Any day of the week.
We have G2 in a fantastic position from a money perspective, taking over the game, in fact, although Astralis have stolen away an AK-47 still with an M4 to play with as well, so some toys to worry about for G2 as they look to push into the A site. Want to keep things clean and simple, but that will not be the case. They will lose their player in Palace. Englaive he does some damage as well. You could say it was a doozy.
Impressive.
I don't know. I'm lingering confusion, James.
It's fine, it's fine. 3 players remain for G2, 2 of which have AK-47, so this is salvageable. But Astralis have got themselves some AKs as well. Apex, ever the entry man, done some nasty things today already. hasn't given them the results they wanted. And it's interesting, he's so far away from his teammates, but how far can he go? If he shoves the bomb, that is all too much information. Body knows he has to move quickly, doesn't know who else might be around the A site, trying to bring some fire towards the market position, and now they know where the bomb is. Device taken out, Apex moving forward, 45 seconds. Oh! That was awkward. I don't know if he was meant to throw the bomb for a teammate or what he was doing there, but he manages to survive. And now it's a 2-on-2 in the B bomb site.
Yeah, if you drop it, it switches faster, right?
If you drop it, switches faster, yeah. But it's the... Whoa.
Wow. Galil's been so strong, but where was that last bullet that he needed for the frag? Very close. If he has an AK, Dupree is just definitely dead.
I think, so Apex was the first person on the site, so he thought, all right, I'm into B really quickly. If I throw the bomb here, Kenny, you plant, I'm going to run to kitchen, because if Kenny runs to kitchen, there wouldn't be enough time to do it.
Yeah.
And Body used that, like, Body used getting into jungle as like a call to action, like, hey, let me create a disturbance in window and freak everybody out so you guys can enter B, and the guy watching window will definitely get scared. He'll have to turn around. So you can definitely run through halls right now, and the op is going to be looking at me.
Right, that's awesome. See the attempt from Device there to try to get a cheeky frag from Connector, but denied by G2. There's a lot of things to worry about when you take mid. So many grenades, you have to worry about the one-ways and Connector. There's so much of a meta game around how you play the grenades into either position. And, oh, love this smoke. Trying to Connector there.
And for those of you at home, that's the smoke you want to throw for Connector. You don't throw one on the bottom of these stairs, because A, you can't go into Connector, and B, the CTs can look over it, and you basically create a one-way smoke for your opponent. So try to avoid doing that. Use a Molotov if you need to. Meanwhile, we've got trades around the map, which will serve as an advantage to Astralis. A big one now. Body in a 1 versus 3. He is capable, though. Underrated player of G2. Doesn't have the stardom behind his name of the players, but he definitely has the skill. However, Zipex, also a very skilled human being, will give Astralis that thin lead once again.
It seems like G2 are working well at a higher pace, and they're relying on getting that opening kill quickly, but I like that they're continuing to keep a high tempo, because that just seems like what has yielded them the best results so far.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be working in that sense. Astralis have really struggled to sort of put a foot down with the AWP as well. G2 generally been good at creating spots where it's been hard for a Device to go crazy, for example. So we'll see whether that is something that can change now that Device is back on the AWP, or whether he'll play passively. This round will be a pretty good test for what G2 thinks is working really well against Astralis right now. So although they have the CZs, they have a good amount of utility. And the CZs are still incredibly good. So, oh, there it is. Quick frag from Device. Second chance stab, but somehow whiffs it. Down to Debris to try to equalize, or rather trade back. And it's going to be Glaive instead, so the mid dynamic working for the Danes.
Yeah, that's a perfect example as to why you don't want to smoke like that as a T. Device, I think he moved just before he took that second shot, which is very unfortunate for him. And now we've got a G2 side, mostly with pistols, trying to at least get a bomb plant, but they are getting riddled with lead.
So that's why everyone volleys bottom connector so the op can't stand there. But now operators are just smoking it so they can see over the smoke. Basically, like recreating that smoke that James is explaining is bad to throw on T side. It's becoming really hard to deal with, and so Sean told us about, I think, that flash that bounces off the barrel that's meant to blind him as well.
Bounces off the barrel?
It bounces off the barrel, the front barrel at mid, and then it
oh, yeah. You mean off the box?
Yeah.
Yeah, off this box.
Yeah, off the...
yeah, the beginning of a round, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I throw that flash now.
So I think they might have skipped that last round.
Magic's Boy picked off early by the 5 CZs of G2, and perhaps there is a weapon to collect very quickly into the boost position, and this is advancing very quickly indeed, and maybe, oh, Mixwell just been spotted. I was going to say he could cut off the rotation, but he's been seen.
This is a really good position from Dupree. That could really make the difference here. They want to move into the A-bomb side, do G2, and Device now providing presence from CT creates a problem for GT to try to address, and they are going to try to continue presence towards the window, but that will be dealt with by Zipex. So Astralis are in a pretty good spot here. The bomb plot does come out. Dupree will show himself as the AWP comes into play towards stairs as well, and the bomb is lost in a 2-on-2. Astralis looking very strong. But maybe there's salvation here in the hands of MBK, should he make this flank work.
40 seconds with which to do it. Do Astralis position themselves, thinking this might be compromised? Yes, they do. Dupree absolutely ready for it. And he's hidden from stairs as well. Now they can reposition. Does he use Device to force body into the point of no return? And then peek out for the guaranteed 2 versus 1? Device has an AWP, which makes things really awkward, so the angles work out for Astralis. 9-6. They're in a strong position for the pistol round.
It seems like they might have been better off going B in that situation. They had the similar setup where they had a player in window. Mixwell was there. Unfortunately, he got spotted, but even causing the distraction on whoever was in window has been enough to get them into the site many, many times already this past half at least. But instead they went A to 3 people. And it was kind of a fair fight for Astralis, even with a man disadvantage.
Astralis going no kits. All Kevlar. They are going to be getting into the action up close and personal, perhaps. Astralis looking to burst middle. 3 players there. And there it is, bursting out. Looking to use the numbers here. And Body can't find much, gets tanked down. He's got assistance from Kenny. This is a very good angle for the USPs, actually. Bearing down onto connector, and they can also sandwich from the players, with the players on the A site, but they'll be cut off by the push from Astralis. Now they've made their way into the A sites. Magic's looking for any players forwards. Will they push CT just with Magic's? He goes for it, denied, and there's the flank. Problems, big problems now for the Astralis side.
They are the dartboard at the moment, and the arrows keep flying. Kenny and Body being taken down though, so with shy of a minute on the clock, this is doable. It is a pistol round after all. Purely about connecting those heads. Stay on the move if you can. Try to avoid the trade frag. That's a cheeky one. Apex still on 1 HP. Ooh. And there goes Mixwell. Again, just about the headshots, but Glaive only has 6 bullets remaining, so he has to be very conservative now. He's hit the mark, and now it's down to the 1v1. Device half HP, but again with Kevlar, that is a few too many bullets. 20 seconds on the clock, and he sees NBK now in the Tetris position, but the onus is on Device. NBK can just hide. So the hiding places getting smaller and smaller. Switches out.
Oh my god!
And that is quite a way to finish things off.
Bro!
Impressive stuff from Device. Keeping his cool. Great focus from him. Really fantastic. Now this was an excellent shot from Glaive, because the ticket player there is just will just destroy everything. So he has to get that kill. Very hard on the pick-off. And what a frag from Device there. I also loved how Glaive and Device tried to approach there. Glaive pushing the side on the player on the sides, whilst Device was covering. It's a very good team play. Either way, into the next round we go, and it's a fast one from Astralis straight into the B side.
NBK with the scout has to back off. Got to be careful around that pillar. Doing what he can though, but doesn't seem like it will be much on this occasion. The aim punch not helping either. The spam from Apex will be good for one, but he'll get naded into oblivion immediately. And that leaves Kenny alone. Position undetected, but it's just a question of damage, I think, for him. There isn't really a blind spot on either side here. And 2 people are holding the angle, so maybe they do know he's here. I think Dupree's knifing the floor. Yeah, he is. You can see him there.
Challenging.
It's like the inside of a lawnmower.
Seems they have their exit strategy, which is into the middle position. He will not be defusing the bomb, so they need not be too concerned. Round number 11 for Astralis.
Terrorists win.
So that's 4 pistols. 4 pistols for Astralis. It spells death.
Yep, really good spot for them, that's for sure. Yeah, GT had the same spot in Inferno, starting off that CT side with just no money. So what is the play here from Astralis? They played. I love that they played a super fast B rounds. That's 94 spy. Can often be effective. And getting the information is Dupree with that Mag 10. He's done his job, although he's dead now. He's done enough, and that will allow Astralis to easily make their way into the B-bomb side. So clean. So clean. KennyS again alone with a CZ and nothing else. So he is likely going to march to his doom, but let's get some damage. That's very nice.
If he got that kill on Magisk, I do wonder if he would have just run to the B-bomb site at that point. I think he probably does, because it would force the T's to engage him, so maybe he gets more damage. It would have been fun to see. However, it was not to be. Double the score of their opponent now, Astralis. Kenny has the sniper route. So we'll see if Astralis can neutralize him and limit what he's able to do. I don't think they shot the vent open. We did see a round in the first half where the vent was not opened. And again, perhaps being expectant of that smoke coming in, he will take a different approach entirely. So he'll be able towards the B-bomb site, but there's very fast action towards A.
Yeah, that fast pace, not just working for G2, working for Astralis as well, but they have to get the follow-up frags, and they are actually. So no real retake potential, I don't think, for G2, unless they get another quick kill. See, they're thinking about it right now. They're all gathering around the connector position. There is definitely an opportunity, but it will be very difficult, and it requires Astralis to offer them something. The flank comes in. I think they surely must have heard Glaive. I think he realizes too. I think he heard the stepping of Apex there, indeed. So there's the smoke. Looking over the smoke with the Mac 10. Oh, yeah. That's close.
I was thinking that Apex would have come up on a radar there, even if he couldn't visibly see him. I think the radar works out so he would eventually pop up. Small nerd back there. Oh, is there time?
Oh, he lives. Nicely done, MBK. Very nicely done.
It almost ended with it was kind of a mute point. Well, when the round was playing out, it seemed like just an unlucky death where a body dies in CT because he was kind of spamming and then someone peeked wide on triple. But it's so important that he stays alive because they would have had a 4-on-4 retake. And we saw how far Zipix got. He got all the way to the back of B by the time they could even think about it. So him staying alive in CT was very important.
KennyS demonstrating some of the woes of the middle position and getting picked off immediately, just trying to shoulder peek and see if anybody's there. Well, he found out what he wanted, but not in the fashion in which he wanted. Apex got to be careful now. These exchanges are all Astralis at the moment. 5 versus 2 with 1:20 on the clock. Shell-shocking round for G2.
Yeah, look how decisive that was. That's just big swing through middle. Just getting 2 kills immediately for Astralis. It's a good frag with the Famas for body. Might get a second indeed. The French man with the French gun. Now he will die, taken down by Dupree, leaving Magis to get the last frag as well. So 14 rounds to 6, and Astralis are making up time. They are doing so very well here. What is the answer for G2? They don't have money really to go for a full buy, and they're going to call a timeout to perhaps figure that out.
How do we make some money in the next 20 seconds, guys? What can we do for cash?
Us?
No, that's what
family jewels.
that's what they have to figure out right now.
I mean, we could go downstairs and perform, but that's take longer than 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I've seen some wild stuff outside in the last few days. Some wild stuff. I saw a guy turn himself into like a human tire and just roll along the floor.
That can't be safe.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Wait, what?
It was really weird.
So like grabbed his feet and like rolled.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was doing it to Michael Jackson music.
Did he actually roll though?
Yeah. Yeah, he rolled. He rolled like, I don't know, a good 10 meters or
Wait, how does
slightly
this,
more.
how do your legs here bend? Okay.
It's too late now, Launders. I suppose he's double jointed. I like this peak a lot. Looking for somebody on the stairs who's too hungry for information. Very satisfying when it comes in. Doesn't always though. Glaive has lost the AK and the flank. So that's not a good start. Body has a round to play. Can he retrieve the weapon? Looks like he can.
That's pretty savage. That happens though, but this is scary though for G2. They're stacking A, and there's this chance that someone walks into B, which is happening. So Magis, though, this is one of those spots where you sort of, you don't have time to get stuck in the apps. He's waiting for his teammates before he jumps through, but you almost want him to just go in a bit quicker there through the desperation. We'll see if they can make this work somehow. This is going to be very tough for Astralis. The numbers will be piling in on top of them. They'll have to be quick with the frags, and that's not going to help. Device stuck in the apps here, taken down by Body. And Dupree with the desperation run back to A. This is not going to work out well for him, I don't think.
Look at all these toys that have been collected. They're in a thrift store.
Yeah, indeed. It worked out very, very nicely there for G2. Bodies, Deagle, shenanigans there were fantastic.
He made this look like a 1D. Just 2 strong body shots to the chest. And Zivix didn't stand a chance either. Look at the top mid. Looking like one of the G2's fillet. Not a big fan of. Oh. Ay, ay, ay.
Could have been worse. Could have been dead. The early Molotov, and they will run straight through it. They know time is of the essence, but look at the consequences of that. Running into the meat grinder, into the gauntlet, into the Gatling gun, but somehow they've made it a 2 versus 2. 1 CT by the bench, having to go back through the smoke. That was Kenny. Been very aggressive in these 2 games. Double ops left for G2.
Oh. The classic cut noise. They've got loads of time. This makes it really awful for G2, to be honest. They have 2 ops though, which is kind of actually what you want in this spot, because Astralis are going to be running. There's not going to be a flash or a smoke, I don't think, to stop Kenny here. Oh, he does miss the first shot, and the whiff is going to allow a trade to come in. Ooh, the spots! MBK very swift with his AWP.
Nice.
That is quite the save. And they've got plenty of cash to spend as well.
They decided to run because a lot of people play the two people together, but since there was 2 ops, they're like, hey, why don't we just split sites? It's easy, we can spot safely, we can get a kill, we'll probably stay alive too. And even though he didn't get both kills, he still got 1. MBK was close enough for the rotate. But gotta say, I'm not a fan of majority people A-ramp on executes, like the way that Astralis just did that. Because from almost every position on A, it's easier. It's easier to nade A-ramp than it is Palace. So people just funnel all their utility there.
It's true.
Speaking of funnels, they've made it through most of Astralis, but there are other funnels to be had, and only 1 person lost for G2. So again, we were in a similar situation to what we had on Inferno, where G2 is starting to come back, and they have kept Astralis off of match point for the time being, and they're very close to double figures G2. So this may start to become worrisome for Astralis if they cannot be successful in this round.
Double orbs. They must work. They must for G2. G2 playing 2-man towards pits. Early info. Astralis with mid control, checking the smoke. So all lurk in that mid window smoke. See if he can get some information for his team. That's really what he's after there. But look at this. They are on for the split. Oh no, that is a big miss there from MBK. Gives away his position. Second frag is his. And the third. Well, no, sorry, the first.
And the second.
Things are happening, James. He's shooting bullets. People are going down. It's incredible.
Bombs being planted for the shot position as well as apartments, although probably possible to defuse it and not get shot from apartments. But if tentacles would be seen. Let's see if G2, what they can do on the retake here. 3 players coming from that market position. Nice grenades being deployed, flashbangs as well. But where are the kills here for G2? They must prevail, they must survive. They must be successful. Dupree with 1 HP, and there he goes. 4 players alive for G2. AWP collected, second one there if they want it, and they do. And there are the double figures. The bomb plot may be a saving grace. It does allow Astralis to buy. Magis Boy buying immediately. That was the fastest buy I have seen at the beginning of a round.
And once again, it's kind of like Inferno, G2. They are not too far away from Astralis now. Only 4 rounds. The double orbs continue to be a success. And Kenny, oh my goodness, he's going close with the AWP. here towards pits. It's not one of the more common aggressions. Oh! He misses the shot. Glaive will take down his teammate. He's committed. Gets himself the flick. So very committed. Goes in for another. And of course, he picks it up. The bomb is down on the floor. And it's just going to be Device and Dupree left in the middle to try to recover the situation. That is very clinical from Device. And they are forging a new opportunity. And otherwise, they're a chaotic round. Device keeps it going. But Kenny showing no signs of slowing down himself. 2 frags already.
Assume he knows the bomb is on the ramp, and he knows the flank as possible. Spots him. There he goes. Now Device, he wasn't a connector. There he is. Goes back for the peak! Kenny, why are you doing this?
Yeet.
Oh, so many highlights.
That is
Oh
sensational.
My God.
What a beautiful shot.
He is fluid.
What a round.
He's so committed.
He's got the movement of the finest prosthetic knee.
He's the $1 million man.
Oh my
wow.
God.
That is so beautiful to see that mid-range headshot flick.
All right, Kenny, I'll drop you off next show match. I give in. I give in.
Drop him off, please.
So the 5CZ push in the Biaps might actually work out. There's no one on the side. If they just go for the contact behind this, well, they will toss out the grenades first. And let's see if MBK can defend this. Gets the first kill. The spray is phenomenal. All right, no one able to set feet into that bomb site at all. So that's the thing, like if you don't get the first very quick kill, it can very quickly snowball out of control, but that is how you want to do it. It's 2 rounds away now from Astralis G2 on the comeback.
Man, what can you do about Kenny SA? He is a force of nature.
Yeah, there's very few players in the world that could have won that round in the way that he did. Very, very few players.
Device, Guardian,
Yeah, exactly.
Fallen.
Yeah, that is pretty incredible. And it's just that sheer comfort when because he knows that he's completely committed, but it's almost like there's no pressure there for him because he's just comfortable. So it's just like, well, this is my position. The play here is that I just keep going in.
This is my meat and potatoes, my bread and butter.
Yeah, I think there's some players that operate better when their teammates die.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You're forced to take the
Puts on the
big
wings.
plays.
I was going to say his movement around the ramp between the kills as well just shows you trying to deny the trade frag as much as possible without compromising his position and wherever the player on Palace as well. It was really an interesting scenario there. But here we are, 2 rounds between these 2 teams, a re-smoke and the boost for the T's. There is a CT moving up into the ladder position, so perhaps they are expected, but opportunity is gone if it was there in the first place. And now we've got compromised CTs on 8.
Like this setup from G2 is so strange. Like 3 players basically playing the pit position more or less, and you can see that it's working out wonderfully well. Astralis walking into it, and look how well set up G2 are still in these positions, just in front of the smoke, behind the smoke, around the smoke. So many players. Zipex will drop forwards now. So there's nothing he can do. This is the hard read working out really well.
Yes. G2 CT side on Inferno and Mirage looking really, really strong.
They basically didn't have anyone in the B-bomb site this round. They had MBK playing in the ladder room and 4 players just sitting on the A site.
You think it's... yeah, they should save.
Looks like they will.
4 out Palace, flash over A-ramp. Best eco strat.
Loss bonus is rising for Astralis, which means they can spend more money in this round and still have a juicy full buy in the next one. But will their apple be stolen? That is the question. A with smokes. 4 smokes to be deployed. See what they choose to do with them. Again, it will be a shooting gallery. 2 CTs on A already. Mixwell will probably be smoked off, so his fast rotation may not be so significant, but oh, the Molotov is too late, maybe too greedy from Apex, not expecting them to be out that fast, and that is opportunity for Astralis. Body has to do a lot of work here. Again, 2 AWPs, not easy for a retake. First to just kind of buy, but Mixwell manages to find something around the smoke. 3-on-3 now as Astralis continue to move forward. The guns are far away, but they're abandoning ship, and this will spread the defenses and actually make things arguably easier for Astralis.
That is so ridiculous. Those CZ kills should not have been possible. All the way to CT spawn from A ramp. I don't know. Did Mixwell see?
No, he wasn't holding the gap. So, but he may have heard something. MBK spots one, raises the alarm. Mixwell sees one go down. The scope will obscure his vision of the plays in apartments, but a bomb is still in apartments, so well, that smoke will do the trick.
Oh,
We've got problems.
Yeah, they didn't realize Claver snuck out. And he's going to take down MBK. Now he's got a good position, but distracted by the player. Mixwell on the short position. Very fine around the corner. The Deagle from Device really needs to do the job now. Oh, this is so tense. One more shot, and Device can clutch the round. It's looking very fine, and he makes it work. The meat shots. The meat.
That's a crazy psychological game you play when there's only so much room to peek, and both players know that, and you have to decide, is it going to be left, is it going to be right, how much of my body gear do I show, do I assume he's walking, he's going to wide swing, and Device, he just plays it perfectly. Made Device body feel so uncomfortable, never showed himself, and when Device shifted to the left a little bit, Device immediately responded. Like, it was pretty perfect.
Are we going to see... The only person, was it, I think it's, I'm not sure if it was Exist or Carrigan. I want to say Carrigan, who would sometimes use an auto sniper from CT ramp on previous teams. But it's very rare, not always successful, but Apex has whipped it out. So we'll see if it can make a difference. And maybe he's been shell-shocked by the numbers game that came out of ramp in the previous round.
That's a solid call because they've been like executing just as smokes have been dissipating at A ramp or running through them almost. And so there's like walkout kills to be had. They're nades land late.
Kenny is looking for a big catch. He's going to find one. The big game hunter. Kenny S. Another horn collected. See if Mixwell can find something here. He's going to bait Dupree. Does he have the game sense to realize that the bait is possible? And Kenny perhaps feels as though Dupree was a bit further away there, and that misstep could cost them hugely. A 4v4 now, set up mostly towards the A site, and there is that auto sniper doing some damage, spotting the next player. Headshot immediately from Magic. Had to do it. The body's still in action, and he'll take down multiple players here. Device is trying to do what he can, but he can't do it all.
That pre-fire from body was absolutely exquisite. That was the finest wine.
You really squeezed some grapes with that one.
That was really awesome. And it was very, very important. And here we are. Are we on the cusp of overtime for G2? Look what they've left Astralis with. Device with the AWP and 4 CZs for the remainder of Astralis, or the rest of Astralis rather, because they're all alive right now. They have some grenades, this T side. And the CTs won't engage. Kenny's been wilding out. He's just feeling it. They are allowing him to do his thing. There's that CT smoke grenade. The Device looking over it. Not quite hitting the mark there. Some warning shots. Now there's some information for G2 as to where the AWP is currently. Maybe that will give NBK the confidence to be aggressive elsewhere, but it will cost him.
Yeah, big rotation coming in, and I think that Magisk is in a perfect position to hear the rotation. I think they were running around the vents, so I think you would have heard that. So this is really interesting. There's also time here. Device is very much the main feature of this push, and I don't know how that missed. That is maybe a huge opportunity, the one opportunity they needed, that they should have been able to get. It's gone. It's meaningless. See, Device is so frustrated with that. And now they have to go back to A in a 4v4, where the advantage is definitely on G2.
That was crazy. There were 2 players towards B, but Mixwell was in the market. He only has a HE. He couldn't flash for his teammates, so risks had to be taken by G2. And again, they got life. They got away with them. Apex disappearing into the mist. Being hunted by Glaive, but what can he really do? 1 player spotted on the ramp position, and the bomb is not far behind. Apex taken out now. That's a gun for the T side. 17 seconds, the bomb has to go down. 3 versus 2. They're desperately trying to do it. Kenny, doesn't know what to do just yet. Missing the shot. 10 seconds now. 2 versus 2. Do they know where body is? Oh, just run away. And that is overtime secured for G2.
Damn. That was really. I had no idea who was going to win that until until the end. The crazy thing is, I love how many opportunities Device was able to get, because there was a lot of spots where Device was able to potentially get a swing frag, which could have gotten them into a bomb site. But there was a couple missed opportunities along the way. But that can be difficult sometimes when you have an AWPer on the T side of Mirage, finding him the opportunities to help you win the round. Did not work out for Astralis, and indeed the big reset button has been pressed, and we begin overtime. Mixwell going in towards the window, just a quick check there, will be smoked out.
Three rounds and a half, $10,000 starting money per player.
I like that G2 have been obsessing about close A ramp control. It's netted them a ton of frags, and they've also been able to just shut down all of these executes that Astralis love doing.
Well, maybe they are adjusting Astralis with this fast possession of the ladder room. What do they identify? No presence here from the CT, so where are the CTs? NBK can't get his gun out in time, and Magic Boy will abuse him. But is there anybody else towards B? They know that they should draw plays in that direction. There is a flash, Magisk. Might not need it. Mixwell taken down now. There is a smoke in the door.
So it's pretty over for G2 in this round as they go back for the save. Excellent kill from Magisk. You can see that he found out that the grenades, so he saw the trajectory of the grenade, and that sort of also suggested to him that perhaps he's in a spot where the CT will be unexpecting of his position, how close he is, and he was correct. And sometimes that's all it takes to win a round, just your B lurk, getting the frag. And now the question is whether or not Astralis can keep this going. I feel like Kenny S has really bailed GT. Like that one sort of 4K rounds, I feel like he's really been bailing G2 out in some very key spots.
But he really had to hold on to that weapon. Astralis understand the importance of that extra money. And they did try to hunt him, but he did great to hold on to that. So that's the first round of overtime in favor of Astralis. See how things continue. Kenny S on the AWP once again, as is Device. Will he hear this push? They started to walk now. There's the flashbang, and Device is completely blind. Glaive, look at that burst! Was that 3 bullets? That's all that's required. Flashes go back and forth, but he's still willing to fight here. But he will get taken away. So the aggression works for G2.
Oh, nice. That is quite the pick there from Magisk. He's alone though, and the bomb is far away. It's loads of time, but he's got 12 HP. So don't want to get anyone's hopes up.
What do you guys think that Astralis will do next round?
A.
A, yeah?
I think so.
Me too. But
I think there's a human nature thing where a lot of people would go A in this round.
Yeah, that was my first thought, but then it's like G2 have been focusing a lot on stopping the A hits. So I wonder if Astralis are going to think about that. Well, they got 2 ops, so they probably shouldn't execute.
What if they dropped an AK in spawn? So you can try to get that fast pick onto into the B apps. 3 players towards B. I kind of like this idea from G2 just because Astralis have been, like, Magisk is confident in B. We can see that he's been successfully opening that up for his team. So, and that's the power of having Kenny S here to deal with him. So Magisk will be neutralized in the B apartments, unable to accomplish much.
Auto sniper out again for Apex. And there is no one to engage. He'll have to try and retain his focus while staring at the same position in no action for a while.
Damn, look at these rotates. It's so hard to try to predict that. That's a big kill.
It is, but Dupree has conceded his position. And now Body's seen that somebody's in the ladder room as well, but NBK's got to get these kills. He knows there's one more to dispatch of. Glaive falling into the window position, but the CTs have got good positions for him. Oh no! Kenny's missed a shot. AWP collected, and now Glaive has the advantage, as well as Astralis.
This AWP is really strong. Does fall off the angle though, but he will make good of it. Nice frag collected by Glaive, leaving just Mixwell in the round. And his chances aren't too strong, but he does get the kill onto Glaive, opening up the opportunity to carry on the forwards here for the defuse attempt. Where are these two players though? There's a lot of positions to worry about, but ultimately you can always assume there'll be at least one player pit, but there could also be two. Same goes for Palace. It's just too difficult. Open plant, and the round is collected by Astralis. 2 for them in overtime 1, and the first half of overtime 1, and 1, as you can see, for G2.
You know, if Apex wins his duel as the CT player with an auto sniper, meaning he had like a lot of advantages there, but instead of using them, he kind of like went out by triple and then had this like head peek from Dupree and Connector. He could have been up on ticket fighting Connector and had much more vision on him, or not fighting it at all, let him lurk out to get killed. Then probably Astralis go B, and G2 had stacked 3 people at B, so it seemed like the setup was actually quite good from G2, and they almost got them to play into what they wanted, but they were relying heavily on Apex to stay alive at A, and they put a lot of faith in him to get kills with an auto sniper because it's such a strong weapon, but he played it a little bit risky, I feel.
We saw what was the result of that. G2 faking into the A site, so collect the bomb and run B. The fake, though, will likely be, I think they just figured it out pretty much immediately. So this is actually going to put G2 in an awful position, moving to and expecting Zipex and Device.
Device is not having a good day with AWP anymore. Landing the shot to Apex, however, and maybe there's time to salvage this, or is it even a salvage job? 4 versus 1, and there is round number 18 for Astralis. I think Device will be happy to have a little break once this match is over. Quite a few shots where you can only assume he must have been moving before shooting, because the crosshair seemed in the right place.
It's crazy because he's still almost pulling 30 here.
Yeah. Match point for Astralis. G2 with it all to do. G2 must win both of these rounds to head to another overtime. See Device looking over the smoke, but not overextending. But the waste is spotted by Kenny S. He's waiting to redeploy the smoke into the window.
I think that's the first time Device has died on a mid-peak as well. Usually getting the kills. So that's an improvement for G2. Apex sneaking out into stairs. They must realize this. They do. Magisk has the position. But Kenny S will nail Zipex to the wall, though. MBK will be lost towards Palace. MBK was effectively the lurk there. This will mean that there's nothing for G2 to do but to take the B bomb site. But the bomb is now going to be found out by the CTs. And although Body gets this kill, Dupree can give the information to his teammates.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So awkward.
He's going for it.
He's going for it. Okay, this is very scary. How do you play this?
Yeah, there was a window for Dupree to get the 1 versus 1, but ultimately it's 1 versus 3. The longer he waits, the more T's there will be. And now they can move in together, but there's another gamble to be made here. Look at the time on the clock, 35 seconds. They more or less, I would almost feel like they have to go towards the A site at this point, or they're very likely to. So, ooh, where are they going? 27 seconds left, and this is very interesting indeed.
Jesus, going back to mid.
Wow.
I respect it because I feel like they have to go towards A, but they're going towards B. And the thing is, if they read that they have to go towards A, then obviously Dupree's on A, and if the situation happens on A, they will have slightly more time. But there's a potential where it's a disaster when he hides him in by timeout, and he's like, oh, for God's sake. And what does he do? Where's the money? He kind of needs to hold on to his gun, perhaps, for Zipex?
Dupree almost went to B too. He like went to window, went back.
It's very coin flippy.
It is.
This situation. I was thinking B as well, just because you feel like. But that's the thing, like.
I think with the time, you can't know. I think it's A more often than not. I think it's a credit to G2 because there's a lot for both teams to process in that very small window of time.
Well, they already have B as well.
I would have gone B because it looked like it would have been A because they would have rotated from mid to get the bomb and then could have just continued towards A. So if I was a terrorist, I would assume Dupree has just fallen back, given up the bomb and played A. And then I would have probably just taken a B. But then Dupree almost did it too. There's really no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't assume that he's thinking about the situation in a simpler fashion than you are. So you're thinking, oh, he's probably going to go towards A. He knows that you know that as well, right?
Yeah.
So there are layers to the onion.
And he's got to pick one of the two options.
And
he chose the wrong door. This time, Magisk with a beautiful flash from a teammate to follow it up with a kill onto Apex there. And just spotting one player there early does sort of just suggest it's a default here from G2. So that kill doesn't mean too much, and that will mean that for Astralis, let's play fairly passive. Sit on the 5v4, don't have to do anything crazy. We have the numbers advantage now. And G2 go for the set piece on A. Astralis in very good retake positions. No one will be isolated on the bomb site by smokes. I think Astralis realized that set piece is coming.
Slow lurk from Mixwell top mid. See if he can cut some players off. Ooh, that's a massive snap from Mixwell in mid. Meanwhile, Glade's being picked off. Magisk Boy in a ninja position. Can he get two? That is the question, and I think he really needs it. Lots of time on the clock. He's revealed his position. There is a trade from Bonnie. Now Dupree around the corner of the smoke. I think he might have had the bomb out. 2 versus 2, and Kenny continues to deliver. And now it's down to Device. 1 shy of a 30 bomb. Would be a nice way to finish off this game for Astralis, but G2 may think otherwise. They don't know where he is. They have no more flashbangs, G2. So gambles have to be taken. Do they plant for CT? There's only one angle to cover for that. Oh, Kenyes's dome. I think he just crouched completely randomly. And that is one way to answer and send it to a second overtime. Gordon Bennett.
Kenyes is having such a good day. Kenyes has been playing very well.
This is almost maximum Kenyes.
He's been having a really good time. And there's been so many rounds on both maps where he's really given G2 a decisive edge and brought them back from crazy spots with his clutching. Lots of highlight stuff from him already. And, well, double ops here now for Astralis as everything is reset. Device actually in the mid window. Oh, available.
I love that.
Is the shot onto Kenny, and he will take it. No smoke in the window. Device is a happy man.
It's interesting that he peeked there, even with the Molotov at the back, because that is a common peak of Kenny S to jump up like that. And again, Device reading the habits, as we mentioned earlier, and punishing people for them. Can't have habits versus Device. NBK trying to get G2 back into this round. Not the start they wanted, the French-speaking side at this point. Sepek's almost good for the second one. 2 versus 3, though. He knows where half the remaining players are for G2.
The tap, tap, tap. And Magisk is no more. And we'll see whether the bomb can now make its way successfully to this B bomb site. You've got the forwards detachment sent out there to scout the bomb site and relay the situation to his teammates. Brilliant frag found by Body. But now Device will make himself a forward position, could catch the bomber. Oh, critical shot missed. Is there a chance now for Device? Oh,
oh my god.
How does he find a way to do this?
Oh, the 50-50.
This is very tough, relying on the flick. Is it left, is it right? NBK not showing himself the correct move. Time being burnt from the clock here for Device. Forced forward for the AWP, and the QQ. Was it QQ? I don't know what it was, but it was not him shooting someone in the face. That's what it wasn't.
I think sometimes the guy is shooting and has pressed Q too fast or something.
You think he shot?
I don't know. I think he could have, but obviously
he got, like, so close to the wall. I think he might have given up on it.
Yeah, that's perfect though. Body with an off angle, initial engager, NBK pops out immediately. So they played it. They stretched him out for that one. They stretched him out.
And now he's on a stretcher. (19-18). Didn't look like it was going G2's way that first round. Now we see play. I completely forgot the player on Virtus Pro. Pasha? No, never mind. We'll get back to it.
Who plays the short position? The new one, Mihu.
Mihu,
Yeah, yeah. Mihu-esque play with the smoke out and the flash off the wall, looking into the underpass.
Oh yeah, he loves these bricks.
Creeping into B. Zipex, does he... What does he know? Can't know too much here. They're being very quiet. That is very beautiful. That might be the telling player, though. One man on the catwalk at this time does suggest the play into B, and Zipex will find it as he gets a frag out of it, and Dupree's in a spot as well where he might be able to catch one of his own, and he does. The trade is in, though. All upon Kenny, yes, he's been an absolute monster so far today. Maybe even the best player on the server. We'll see if he can find a way out of this situation. It is quite a predicament. Doesn't have time to go to A, really. Commits to the plant. A 1v2 after plant. Is Kenny S good for it?
Footsteps moving forward. Here's the sounds. He has some cover to his right-hand side. Got to reposition, though, as he takes the shot. Very scary stuff. They were lining up. They were lining up. They were in the queue for the bus tickets, and he almost sent them on their way.
You couldn't even see the guy behind him. They were so lined up.
It's crazy because like we've seen this happen before. There's actually a spot in Inferno where I feel like it almost happened as well, but
It did happen.
Well, no, I mean like
Today.
It happened again today. There was a spot where like it was like 1v2 off the plant on the A side, and the two people that behind him, and he was like, yeah. Anyway, it wasn't to be this time, and that is going to be very fun for Astralis, but not as fun for G2. Oh, Device very close there to catching that frag. He's been quite consistent at winning the opening engagements. Not too often does he lose. Oh my days. Was that 3 grenades?
3, 1, 2, 3.
Down to 19 health. Apex is feeling sore.
Minute 20. T's waiting for the smokes to disappear. There could be a CT on the balcony. Apex is on the off angle, and Device will be the bait. So this is going to be tricky for G2 to identify, to deal with. Very tricky indeed. Device slowly moving to the short position. He can't unscope. You see him swiping there, doing a 180. If anybody's in apartments and he unscopes and scopes to look mid, that is too much of a warning for his opponent. So he stays scoped the entire time. You often see Fallen doing a similar thing as well. Swiping the 180s, lovely flick from Device, and now he focuses on mid.
Yeah, this is tough. There's no real entry point here for G2. MBK he has to go absolutely ham here. Does manage to get the frag onto the shadow player. There's one more to worry at ticket, and now he's alone. And the bomb is isolated on the catwalk, and that'll be that. 20-19 as we end the first half of the second overtime here in Mirage. Aren't G2 playing FaZe next?
Yes.
My God.
It's a hectic day for them.
That is brutal. That is brutal. They definitely want to start against FaZe with a win.
Yeah.
In their bag at least.
If FaZe is watching, thank you for your patience as well. Obviously, there have been some tech issues today which have delayed the start of things. But we appreciate your patience.
Astralis still only have one loss as well, so this would be a big map for G2 to win.
Oh, I love the fast boost. Don't see that so often anymore. Magic's Boy still yields the kill, but I do like the fast boost there. The trade is here for NBK, and that's a tough spot for Dupree to deal with. Low health as well. And there's a flank coming in from Apex, so they've got to be careful though. He wins the burst, sees the bomb. Doesn't need to try and defend it there. Not really the best situation, but 4 versus 2, they can hold map control elsewhere. Double targets for Device, and that falls to pieces, leaving Dupree with 1 HP. He's got the bomb, but not much of a hope in hell, and it seems that the score is going to be tied once again in this first round. So we will look for one team to win the remaining rounds to take the W, otherwise more overtime.
Overtime. Well then, congratulations to Volt Renegade for winning 2,000 FACEIT points. We've given away 8.1 million, my goodness. You like big numbers, James? That's a big number. 8.1 million. Kenny S going for the jump, makes it.
Uh-oh.
Ooh!
like
Would've been
through the
Yeah.
pole almost.
Would have been fun to see that from Device's perspective. Apex trying to dodge the pop flash, but he will not dodge the grave. MBK able to get the frag, has to hurry back to catch the players coming out of the B apartments. The flash is in. Really awkward spot for MBK. Very difficult. Try to isolate in the 1v1s there. Is successful, but does go down regardless. Device, oh my god, managing to defend excellently well there with one frag.
Surely he has to save at this point. The money must be horrible for the CTs. Oh no, it's fairly reasonable. He's got 9k, so they're fine. That round win definitely coming into play. So here we are. Can G2 tie the score once again and extend this game of Mirage? It is quite fun to watch, I must say.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Device on 36 kills now, Kenny on 35. Battle of the snipers, and Mixwell will join the fray.
It's been a good second OT for Device as well. Like 5, 6, 7 kills here.
Mid take here, Dupree pushing short very quickly. Smokes everywhere. Will be the man to keep them occupied at mid, whilst the rest of the team will start to file in from the B apartments. Will be difficult though. Mixwell with that AWP indeed. Might get caught. Apex goes down. Apex finds a close position. Very nice stuff there from him. Holding it down here in the middle of the bomb site. T's all around. Device will eventually take him out. As Glaive has a good position to catch players out of the market, and he'll do just that. No way in, perhaps. 1v1 so critical. Body providing the threat of the flank. That could make the difference.
Huge frag from Body, and Glaive has to go and eliminate him. That is a game changer. G2, I think they were sitting waiting for the bomb plant, because then you're max engaging one player if you go for the push. Unless it's a fake, of course. Astralis still looking for information. They may not realize that both these CTs are in this position as they've got the sniper rifles, but with the time on the clock,
They need that AWP. I mean, they need the bomb, sorry.
Seems there's some uncertainty as to what they want to do. Maybe he was going for a flank Glaive towards the market position, but with 30 seconds left, Device is feeling exposed. He's not sure if anybody's in apartments either. They have no idea what's going on, but with how slow things are proceeding, got one CT starting to move away for G2. There are footsteps being made though, and there's the beep beep, so Kenny better make his way back, but Mixwell's in a very bad situation. Deploying the grenade and Device, surely he will feel confident about push here. If Mixwell goes left, that barrel will almost guarantee his death, and there it is. Kenny now 1 versus 2, can't do it, and Astralis will take the game 22-20 over G2.
Still amazing to me how well they handled that, like 2v2, because there's so many mines. They're in a minefield, and you can see if they were just, if Glaive was just to have a peek just a little bit too deep there, he gets taken down by Kenny. Is just holding the angle. They wait for a good amount of time, cause confusion, have a smoke there. Device in a fantastic position, just walking a tightrope.
A very intense game, long one. Oh, all the way into second OT, it seemed like both teams were pulling out new stuff, which was awesome to watch. I think G2, even though they had a rough tournament at Marseille again, it was only 2 matches, still looking promising, and have another couple of very important matches coming up versus FACE. Should also push to their limits.
Yes, that was a very enjoyable game of Mirage. I think it's unfortunate for G2. I think that both teams performed well, but only one team can win. And talk about the highlights from Kenny as well. Some really enjoyable frags from him. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and there are the statistics going high and above what you normally see because of those overtimes. So, coming up, it is going to be Astralis versus FaZe. It's going to be another map of Mirage. We'll see if what that warm-up is like for Astralis. They're going to have a break. We're going to have a break. We will see you after the break.